All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Danny, and this is the Common Rule Podcast. All right. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys got out there, made some magic, or were part of some magic this past week. There was a lot to do. And I tried to do all of it. But, man, things creep up, and things get in the way. And then you're hungover and shit didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. But I did the best I could with what I had. The whole plan this weekend was to make it out Friday night to the Luau record release show. Again, such a great show. I did make it out to that. Took some pictures. Maybe experimented a little too much, but I got one or two good shots. I decided to go out, start the weekend off on Thursday, and, did my thing on Thursday, ended up at good old Chopper John's, playing some pool, drinking some Paps, and then I rallied on Friday, and on Friday I stayed out a little too long, well, a lot longer than I wanted to, but the party was going, and it was great. Had some great conversations, and the show at the Rebel Lounge was pretty fucking amazing. Kudos to all the bands out there that played. El West opened up the show, I believe. March Music played a great set. Celebration Guns was awesome, and of course, Luau Band just had a great set and killed it. Very tight, very great great record. Continued having drinks and talking and having a great time. For all those that missed it, please pick up the EP, man. It's a great record. And I just couldn't. I wanted to get over to the Flying Burrito Music Festival on Saturday, but fuck, I just couldn't rally, man. I could not rally. It's not that I got completely shit faced. Is that, man, I got a little drunk 2 nights in a row. Man, it was just a struggle. So Saturday, I just worked on my photography, did a couple of things here, experimented with some self-portraits and some lenses, and, not to bore you too much about details, but I did some things. And now this is technically a Sunday night, going into Monday morning. It was a great weekend. It was a great way to relax, and I'm glad I went out the days that I did and had great conversations with people. The band... just to talk a little bit about Luau Band. Now, the band had a great record release show. And I'm not going to go through their whole story as to what they had to go through in order to get this record done. Essentially, it went from more or less thinking that nothing was ever going to happen with the band or nothing was ever going to come of it, to finally having an EP to show for their hard work over the past year and a half. And I thought, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. It gets you really thinking about how we measure success and how we have to be careful what we use to measure that success. The album probably isn't going to go multi-platinum. The album is, hopefully it does very well. Don't get me wrong. Hopefully they sell the millions and millions of records. But in the way the music industry works today, that probably isn't going to happen. But what that EP is more a symbol of is resilience and sticking to your guns and sticking to your goals and making shit happen. When you think that, when you think all is lost, or you think your project is never going to come to fruition. And it also comes back to a materialistic measuring stick of success. And again, we have to be careful on that. And now, I don't know how international this show is, but I assume that all two of you listening out there are Americans and live in America, probably live in Phoenix or Arizona, and we have been dealing with maybe the life and death of the American dream. And of course, this is something that the art show, my photography art show, was about as well, as this American dream, and how that has been more or less the high watermark of success or failure in the American family for, for a very, very long time. Rich versus poor in its most bare knuckle form. And it's really prevalent coming from immigrants. I think it's very, very prevalent in the ethos and the thought process of the immigrant family here for coming to America. It is, by most accounts, a materialistic dream. How much can you get? How much can you buy? And in that sense, in that way that you value it, it's how much money do you have, can you make, and how much profit can you make? And we have to be careful that we use money as a term of success. And unfortunately, right now, even the most, I would say, the good-natured of people trying to tell you what success is, all tie a dollar value to that success. And that's just not fair. It's just not the way that your projects, any kind of project, should be looked at. There, as artists especially, you can't create something and call it a failure just because it didn't sell, or just because someone didn't think it was worth any amount of money, or just because you might not even be trying to sell it. That doesn't make any sense. Success has to be measured in a different way, and it has to be personalized. How successful was it to you? And if you sought out looking a dollar amount for that, hey, more power to you. But a lot of times you see a lot of these motivational speeches, a lot of these fucking talks, a lot of these celebrities that are out there trying to tell you to get up and go do your thing and this, that, and the other, all have the common denominator of a dollar value. You're not successful unless you've become rich, unless you got 2 cars, 4 kids, a house, 2 houses, a house in the Hamptons. And then where do you draw the line at that point? How successful are you as a businessman compared to another businessman who has the same business? If you got 2 pizzas competing, one guy sells more pizzas than the next, but one's more delicious than the other, how successful are you? I'm sorry, I just like pizza. I have pizza on the brain right now. When I did my art show, of course, that Phoenix Film Revival, did I sell a print? Did I make any profit from my art show? Did my brand grow? Did I get any more recognition that I already had? Did I get sex and groupies out of it? Drugs? Rock and roll? Beer? Well, actually, I did get beer. But no, I didn't sell any prints. As of today, I haven't sold a single fucking print. Did I expect to sell any prints? No. Did I profited from the show at all? No, I haven't made any money off of it. Quite the opposite already. I mean, just on materials and costs alone, no, I'm not even close to recouping what was put into that. Did my brand grow? And I'm thinking, of course, in brand and marketing and from a quote unquote business aspect, did I grow there? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not any huge significant amount. And that goes hand in hand. Did I get any more recognition? Am I more famous now than I was before? Yeah, doubt it. I didn't get any groupies. No one came backstage. No one brought any drugs. I went to the bikini bar. There were no drugs there either. So, whatever. Decent music there. Some people did jukebox and stuff. And a couple people bought me some beer. What are you going to do? But what I did do, how I did go into this, I mean, I had about 30 prints. I didn't expect to sell a single print. What I did have, I had an idea. I executed the idea and I displayed it. Having the art show in and of itself is already, I think, as much as goes into preparing and doing this thing, that in and of itself is success. To me, it is really, finally, like, after I've been thinking of putting an art show now for closer to 6-7 months, and it's been real talk for probably closer to 4 or 5 months. So this whole time, right up until 2 or 3 weeks before the show, I was still putting the finishing touches on the show in order to make it happen. So I set goals and I met them, and the show went off exactly how I wanted it to go. I would hope, and I hate using the term most people, but let's just say that there's probably people out there that wouldn't even get off on the first step, that wouldn't even come up with an idea. And that's where you and I come in here. We are full of ideas. Probably the reason that you're listening to this crappy podcast is because maybe you want to get some sort of ideas to help your creative ideas as well, or get some sort of feedback or not feedback, but and not even inspiration, but maybe some guidance or some tips on what you can do for your creative process. That's another form of success to me. There's no value in that. Can you imagine? Now let's just imagine that I decided to measure my art shows or even anything that I do with a dollar value. Now I'm just talking for myself here. If I decided to put a dollar value on my success, especially on this art show, how fucking depressed do you think I would be? How miserable is that? Why would I do that to myself? If it happens, it happens, but this isn't why I'm doing it. If I did that, I would have quit a long fucking time ago, man. And that's one of the things that we need to understand as artists and inspiring artists is that the dollar amount, that American dream, that's not for everyone, and it's different for everyone. Yes, there is an American dream, but mine doesn't have a dollar amount attached to it. There are people who figured out how to make money climbing mountains, and fucking good for them. But that doesn't make them any more successful than the people that are at the top of the mountain with them. You dig what I'm saying? Well, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me ramble. I really appreciate that. Hope you guys have a great week. Have a great day and enjoy your youth.